You are Locked On Celtics Postcast, part of Locked On Sports Boston, on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Well, the Celtics got down early. Nets scoring the first 12. Celtics did not take their first lead of the game until the fourth quarter. End up winning in overtime, and with Friday night's victory, the Celtics able to avoid a second straight loss. With that, we welcome you into our latest Locked On Celtics postcast. I'm Steve Lennox, longtime play-by-play announcer on the basketball side, former national show host on ESPN Radio, satellite radio. I like to brag that at one point in my college career, I was the worst college basketball player in the entire nation. Yes, the last man off the bench for the JV team, just for one semester, at SUNY Brockport way back in 1993. You are locked on, and you're right where you need to be with the Locked On Celtics postcast. We're providing reaction to every Celtics game all season long on the Locked On Sports Boston YouTube channel, as well as the Locked On Celtics podcast feed, which you know is free and available wherever you get your podcasts. With our latest Locked On Celtics postcast, we do want to hear from you, our everydayers and our first-timers. Join the conversation, watching live on the Locked On Sports Boston YouTube channel. Hit the comment button. Join the Celtics conversation. Give us your one random thought on the victory in overtime against the Brooklyn Nets. I've got plenty to say tonight on our latest edition of the Locked On Celtics postcast. You can hit me up on the X at Lennox on Hoops. This episode of the Locked On Celtics postcast brought to you by Prize Picks. Download the app today. Use code LOCKEDONNBA to win $50 instantly when you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, run your game. So, again, Celtics without Jaylen Brown. Celtics coming off a loss at home a couple of nights ago to the Golden State Warriors, taking the floor Friday night at TD Garden, looking to avoid a second straight loss for the first time this season. Brown out of the lineup, same for Luke Kornet. Kornet out Friday night, ruled out earlier in the day, right hamstring tightness. The Nets opened up on a 9-0 start over the first 2 minutes. Cameron Johnson scoring 5 of the first 9 for Brooklyn. Nets opening up the game 4 of 4 from the field. They weren't done. Out of a timeout early on. Celtics a turnover. Dorian Finney-Smith, who I used to love with the Dallas Mavericks, now with the Nets, he had a 3, and the Nets up 12-0. Jrue Holiday, Celtics' first basket of the game. That came 3 minutes and 10 seconds into the first quarter. Nets, like the Warriors Wednesday night, aggressive and physical with the Celtics. Celtics getting the other team's A game. Boston starting 1 of 10 from the field. Xavier Tillman in the starting lineup. Missed a couple of corner threes on one possession. Celtics able to make it, and Celtics rather had just 2 points over the first 6+ minutes of the opening quarter. Tatum, first Celtics 3 of the game, and at that point, Celtics down 16-7 to the Nets. Jrue Holiday, a bucket and a foul, free throw good. Celtics within 8 in the first quarter. Sam Hauser knocked down a 3. Celtics down 14 with 7 to go, and that prompted a timeout. They were down 14, got to within 7 at that point. Prichard a 3, Celtics within 6. Nets then 6 in a row, up by 12. The Celtics had an answer. They closed out the first quarter on an 8-0 run, down 4 after 1, 28-24. The Nets shot 57% from the field in that first quarter. In the second quarter, Celtics extending that 8-0 run. Prichard knocked down a 3 in the opening minute of the second. Celtics to within 1. They got there a handful of times through the first 3 quarters. Each time they got to within 1 or 2 or had a chance to tie with a 3, Nets went on a run. Prichard had 11 in the second quarter. Cam Thomas 14 in the second for Brooklyn. He had 20 in the first half. The Nets in that second quarter, as the Celtics really got back into the game, 1 for 11 on threes. The Celtics were 10 of 20 overall from the field in the second quarter, and 3 of 12 from behind the three-point line as well. Celtics rate of 25 from the three-point line in the first half. Nets with the ball with 6 to go, could not score on their final possession, and blacked out for the Celtics on NBC Sports Boston because in my market in the New Haven, Connecticut area, I get the Yes Network, the flagship for the Brooklyn Nets. So I had their TV game, and I don't mind it so much in the NBA. I love Drew Carter. I love Brian Scalabrine. But in basketball, baseball, it sort of drove me crazy when I couldn't watch the Red Sox on NESN. with the Boston Celtics, I really do like hearing the opposing team's perspective. Ian Eagle, Sarah Kustok had the call. Frank Isola, who works with Brian Scalabrine on Sirius XM with their morning show on the NBA channel. Isola at halftime mentioned just 13 free throws between the two teams in the first half. Celtics were 5 of 5. Nets were 7 and 8. Third quarter, much of the same. Celtics a couple of times got to within 1. But then the Nets would go on a run of their own. In that third quarter, the Celtics were just 3 of 13 behind the three-point line. It was a 2-point game going to the fourth. Nets had a 78-76 advantage. Cada was on the floor to start the third quarter. Again, Tillman made the start. The Nets opened up, hitting just one of their first 7 shots in the third quarter. White, basket, plus the harm. Game tied for the first time at 54-54 with 9:25 to go. Horford thought he had a three-pointer and thought the Celtics had their first lead at 59-58. They added a point for Brooklyn, so no first lead of the game at that point. Tatum hit a 3. Game tied at 62. Nets won on a 7-0 run. Around the 5-minute mark, Tatum with a finish in transition, 3-point game, 69-66, the deficit for the Celtics. And again, Tatum, a dunk after a Nets turnover, 1-point game. Tatum, 11 of the third, 25 for the game, and the Celtics on an 8-2 run in that third quarter. Tatum to Prichard, missed on a 3. Cam Johnson then hit on a 3 to give the Nets a 74-70 advantage, 4-point lead at that point in time. Final minute, Celtics with a stop in that third quarter. Tatum with a basket, game tied at 76. Simmons, great feed to Williams in the paint. Nets up by 2. Celtics did have the final shot of the third quarter. Tatum missed on a 3. Same at the end of the fourth quarter. Celtics started the fourth quarter down, 0-2 this season when going to the fourth quarter and trailing. Celtics down 4, 8:33 to go. Holiday a floater, 2-point game. Celtics with a stop. Holiday then with a turnover. Simmons with a miss on the other end for the Nets. Loose ball foul on the Celtics. Celtics with a miss on a 3 then from Derek White. Schroeder with a bucket. Nets up by 4. Celtics then down 6. Horford hit a big 3. White had a block on the defensive end. Hauser missed a wide-open three-pointer from the corner in front of the bench. Out of a timeout, Celtics then got a stop. Tatum a dunk, 1-point game, crowd into it. Celtics then got another stop. Horford missed on a 3. Offensive rebound, Holiday with a basket. Celtics 7-0 run, and at that point, their first lead of the game, 89-88. But again, the Nets had an answer. Schroeder had a miss. Tatum, good defense. Defense again, coming up with a stop. Celtics with the ball, 3:30 to go. Hauser, another miss. Schroeder a 3. Nets up 91-89. Tatum to Holiday. Claxton had a block in the paint. Good contend and got the block. Tatum, big rebound. And then Hauser knocked down a triple. Had one in the first quarter, knocked one down in the fourth quarter. Celtics by 1, 92-91 in the fourth. Huge 3 for Hauser and the Celtics. Thomas and Jrue a foul, missed the free throw. Hit the second, game tied 92-92. Tatum, front iron on a 3. Schroeder missed a layup. Horford the rebound. Tatum a turnover. Thomas a miss. So both teams in the closing minutes of that fourth quarter in regulation, opportunity to go in front. Tatum a rebound, turnover with 32.1. Then Tatum, a dunk out of the timeout. Celtics by 2. The Nets, long rebound on a miss from deep. Cam Johnson to the line. Johnson 2 free throws, 7.6, game tied 94-94. Tatum missed on a shot from the three-point line at the buzzer, just like he did in the third quarter, did it again in the fourth quarter. Then the Celtics in that overtime, Horford hit a 3, Celtics up 3, under 2 to go. Great pass in that situation as Horford hit the 3 and Tatum had the assist. Schroeder got the Nets to within 1 with a layup. Tatum hit from about 12 or 14 feet out, just to the left of the foul line. Celtics up 3. Tatum with 33 at that point. Tatum missed on a 3. Nets had the ball, 47 seconds to go. Timeout with 31 seconds to go. 8 on the shot clock. And nice job by Tatum and the Celtics defensively on Thomas. Shot clock winding down. Tatum the contest. Shot clock violation. Prichard a couple of free throws to give him 20. And the Celtics down 12-0 at the start. And then down 16-2 in the first quarter. Didn't take their first lead of the game until the fourth, end up winning in overtime, their first overtime win of the season. Off Saturday in Milwaukee against the Bucks. On Sunday, second meeting of the season between Milwaukee and Boston. And the Nets now travel to Cleveland. They have a back-to-back. We want to get into your comments. Locked On Sports and Locked On Sports Boston YouTube channel, hit us up. We're going to get to those comments. I'll tell you what, though. Right now, and even before I hit the comment section here, I'm impressed with the Nets. They've got some nice pieces. They're now 4-5 on the season through their first 9. Again, I want to see what they do Saturday in Cleveland against the Cavaliers. Cavaliers winning big against the Golden State Warriors Friday night at home. They don't have to travel. Nets overtime loss Friday night, back-to-back. Let's see how the Nets respond. But they've got some nice pieces. Dorian Finney-Smith has always been a player I've liked. And he'd fit in very well with the Celtics. He really would. Not that they need any pieces right now. But Schroeder, obviously a veteran. Thomas coming along. I think he's now in his third year doing a terrific job. This Nets team is going to be good over the course of this season. I think they get better. And they're very good right now. Again, opened up on a 12-0 start. Pascal, hello. Mike Driscoll checking in. Great win besides Tatum. What more is there to say about Prichard? He is Mr. Consistent, and I wonder if the conversation will be, should he start or not? Mike, I had that thought when he got in the paint at one point in time and drew a foul. I don't know that you mess with that right now. Joe Mazzulla, you've seen it. Brown out, Cornette gets a start. Then Keita gets a couple of starts. I didn't hit social media before tonight's game, so I didn't get an explanation or hear anything in thought process of Xavier Tillman starting. Matchup, perhaps. Did not score in the game. I like Keita in that starting role. But if you think Keita's better coming off the bench like Prichard, I keep it that way. Again, Jaylen Brown missing 4 straight games. 3-1 in the 4 games that he's missed. Tough loss against the Warriors, but a nice overtime win against the Nets on Friday night after trailing 16-2 in the first quarter and watching the Nets score the first 12 points of the game. Pascal, tough win. Like how they withstood the Nets' runs every time. Rebounding has been an issue so far this season. Need to clean it up. Absolutely. And that's guys contesting shots in the lane and leaving perhaps a man. We saw that the other night against the Warriors. Often, Keita would go to try to contest against a drive to the basket, miss, but his man was underneath in the paint area, picked up the basketball, and got the bucket. OU. I like these grimy, I think it is. Grimy, tough it out wins. I felt bad for Hauser because he knew his shot was off, but he made some clutch shots, kept rebounding and hustling on defense, both on the ball and in ISO, I think you mean, and in the hedges. Yeah, you know what? Your shot's not falling. There's other ways to contribute. And that's why I've liked the Celtics bench so far this year, and that's why I defer to a lot of you with us on the Locked On Celtics postcast as well, because you know these bench guys from last season. They're role guys, right? I think Walsh started the fourth quarter. I believe he was on the floor in that fourth quarter. But, yeah, you're not knocking down shots. Hauser had that miss where he was wide open. I'd love to see a drive there. Took the 3, missed it, but then hit one. And Tatum, I give great credit to Jayson Tatum. And I'd love to hear your thoughts on this, but he trusts his teammates. It doesn't matter who it is. He trusts guys. He was feeding Tillman, trying to get him going. Previous games, he was feeding Jordan Walsh, trying to get him going. He trusts his teammates in a lot of ways. Again, leading the team in scoring. Celtics had 5 in double figures. Tatum, again, leading the way with 33, and Prichard off the bench. Mike, I toy with it too, but I defer to you guys a lot here with your thoughts on the Celtics. But Joe Mazzulla, Prichard off the bench. Right now, you can't go wrong. Oh, you appreciate that. And it's Steve, by the way, not Mr. Lennox, but that's all right. Appreciate the comment there, the nice little comment there. Hey, we got to hit a break. Come back. Going to get into NBA random thoughts. Going to get into the Celtics. And coming up in segment number 3, we'll also talk about the numbers of the night as well. Again, no Jaylen Brown. Cornette also out. But the Celtics pick up the victory. 5 in double figures. Again, Tatum leading the way with 33. NBA random thoughts as we continue. Locked On Celtics postcast talking about Friday night's OT win against the Brooklyn Nets. And our Locked On Celtics postcast presented by Prize Picks. Prize Picks is the best place to get real money, sports action. With over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings, Prize Picks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. You just pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 100 times your cash. Run your game all season long on Prize Picks. Prize Picks puts their members first, so all withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure. Sign up today. Get $50 instantly when you play your first $5 lineup. You don't even need to win to receive that $50 bonus. It's guaranteed from Prize Picks. Prize Picks also offers weekly promotions that can lead to big payouts like Taco Tuesday. Each Tuesday, Prize Picks discounts select player projections up to 25% to provide even more value for your lineups. Download the app today. Use code LOCKEDONNBA, $50 instantly when you play your first $5 lineup. Again, use the code LOCKEDONNBA, $50 instantly with a bonus after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, run your game. Locked On Celtics postcast also presented by FanDuel. Get ready to tackle the NFL action with FanDuel's America's #1 sports book, because right now new customers can bet $5, get $150 in bonus bets if you pick up that victory. The FanDuel Sportsbook app does give you everything you need to place your bets live on the NFL all in one place. So when you get that hunch over the weekend on Sunday with NFL Sunday coming up here, if you get that hunch in the middle of the game, you can check out the latest stats, view live play-by-play, and so much more on the same page where you place your bets. Just visit FanDuel.com to join today. You'll get started with $150 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet. Again, that's FanDuel.com. Never waste a hunch and make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the National Football League. So some NBA random thoughts, and I think we're going to start, we're not scoreboard watching, but there's a couple of games of note that we'll touch on here in segment number 2 as well. Mike Driscoll, 100%. Tatum, star who knows he's going to get his numbers, but he just trusts his team, makes the right play to find a better shot, and that's rare to see. Yeah, Mike. Yeah, we're right there. Hey, Mike and Pascal, you guys are becoming with us every night. And I love it. And thank you very much. Hope you're with us again on Sunday. But let's find a disagreement. And you'll probably win the disagreement. But let's find something on the Celtics. And we're nitpicking here, perhaps. We're trying to find something with the Celtics. Let's find something where, we want to go at it a little bit. Celtics pick up the win. And a solid win. Because the way things are going right now, get into Jaylen Brown here for a moment, and I've been consistent with this in the sense of you don't rush him back. Joe Mazzulla continues to say he's day to day. We'll see what the injury report comes late Saturday for Sunday. Is he upgraded? But now you're down Brown, now you're down Cornette. And a hamstring injury, again, you want Cornette as close to 100% as possible. You don't want that thing to linger. But Brown has now missed 4 straight games. And I go back to the Red Sox season. We knew Tristan Casas, with the injury early on in the season, he was going to miss an extended period of time. But you were told, hey, he's going to be back in June. That was sort of the, long, lengthy projection for Tristan Casas. Then it was, let's see if we can get him back in the lineup before the All-Star break. He didn't come back until after the All-Star break. So when you hear day-to-day right now and teams are going to keep everything tight to the vest, but it's just a matter of, okay, just be honest. It's a little different in the sense of, there's not an injured list necessarily. I mean, you could miss the season, but it's not like baseball where you put a guy in an injured list and then you bring up somebody from the minor leagues. Celtics are short right now, but they're still winning games, 8-2 now through their first 10. Remember last year, had the win streak, lost 2 in a row, and then won 6 in a row. That's kind of where they're at right now. Pick up the victory against a good Brooklyn Nets team. So you have a win against the Knicks. You have a win against the Nets in the Atlantic. And it becomes important as you continue to go. Let's get into this around the league. My 3 random thoughts. The Phoenix Suns entered 7-1 and 5-0 at home into Friday night in their game against the Dallas Mavericks. We're going to scoreboard watch in just a moment. But on the Phoenix Suns, not sold on the Suns making a deep run in the Western Conference Finals just yet. I'm going to revisit my thinking beginning in December. The Suns, Mavericks in Dallas on Friday night. Luka Doncic, Mavericks going up against Kevin Durant and the Phoenix Suns. And let's find it. Suns win. All right, I might change my thinking sooner rather than later. Maybe I revisit the Suns making a deep run in the Western Conference playoffs come April, May, June. The Suns win it. Let's go into this box score a little bit. Klay Thompson, 1 of 7 from behind the three-point line. He had 12 points. Luka, 30, 7 rebounds, 7 assists. On the other side, Durant had 26. Doncic again, 30. Kyrie Irving had 29. So the Suns victorious again. So Phoenix now 8-1. Pick up a good road win against Dallas. Another random thought. The Indiana Pacers entered Friday allowing over 120 points a game. I do think that's driving head coach Rick Carlisle a bit crazy, and perhaps it's also making him lose some sleep on some nights as well. Someone, little prediction right here. Someone, I don't know who it is, but an NBA player could still happen Friday night. It's going to happen between now and Monday. Someone's going to hit for 50. Throwing that out there, think it's going to happen. Cavaliers entered Friday 9-0. Home against the Golden State Warriors, 136-117 the final. So the Cavaliers win again. Cavaliers now 10-0 on the season. 27 for Garland, 23 for Mobley. He went 9 of 10 at the free throw line, 13 and 12 rebounds for Allen. Cleveland, only undefeated team left in the NBA, and they are outstanding right now. Celtics, Cavaliers, in case you're wondering, November 19th. First meeting of the season between the two. 2 top teams right now in the Eastern Conference. So around the league with my 3 random thoughts, come back, get into the box scores. The Celtics win in overtime against the Nets. Let's hit here. Jokic, still my favorite player to watch. Kind of play like that. TBH. OU, not sure what you're going there. I'm concerned about how our offense is stifling without JB. This is from OU. He's great. Great release valve at the 3 levels. Yes, transition beast and a lockdown defender as well. Yeah, agree with all of that, OU. Absolutely. And again, it's just right now steadfast in my thinking and being consistent of he's got to be close to 100%. You just don't want that injury right now to linger into the new year. I mean, we're approaching mid-November. He's got to come back. You don't want him coming back for a couple of games and missing a game. If it's load management, that's understandable. But if it's still that issue and there's discomfort and it's beyond that, you've got to figure out, and Joe Mazzulla said, and we've said it here before to share it, along the lines of he's close, he's doing everything he needs to do to get back. So all those things that Joe Mazzulla is saying, we have to believe that Jaylen Brown is going to be back. Again, look at the injury report from the NBA. That will come probably sometime late afternoon, early evening on Saturday for the Celtics and Jaylen Brown. Numbers of the night, look ahead next. All right, our Locked On Celtics postcast, Locked On Sports Boston, your team every day, presented by Skims. For those who haven't heard yet, Skims now offers men's underwear, boxers or briefs. Skims has found a way to create the perfect 3-inch stretch boxer brief that gives men all the movement that they need throughout the day and the perfect comfort for those long trips out on the road without ever riding up or losing their shape. All other 3-inch boxer briefs have officially been put on notice. And for those who prefer the cotton brief, Skims came through with their cotton brief. Everything you love about the classic fit and feel of the cotton brief with the maxed out comfort and breathability only Skims can do. For all those briefs guys out there, you can't beat this one. Skims also provides the stretch brief, which are sleek, lightweight, and super comfortable. When it comes to underwear, Skims is the best to do it. Shop Skims Men's at skims.com. Let them know we sent you. After you place your order, select podcast in the survey and select our show in the drop-down menu. That's Locked On Celtics Postcast. Again, let them know we sent you their way. After you place your order with Skims, select podcast in the survey, select our show Locked On Celtics Postcast in the drop-down menu that follows. And if you're looking for the perfect gift for the whole family, Skims just launched their biggest holiday shop ever, also available at skims.com. All right, sort of waiver a little bit. Set a comment here real quick. We've had Mike Pascal and OU checking in. OU, appreciate not sure if this is your debut, but if it is, welcome aboard. Back to Mike. A tweet I saw and would have to hear your opinion on, is this record deceiving? We have played borderline play in teams, and when we play against actual competition, Pacers and Warriors, we lost. Mike, that's a good one. I don't think the record's deceiving. You've won 8 out of your first 10. You win the games against the teams you're supposed to beat. You took 2 from Charlotte. Charlotte's going to be better as the season progresses as long as they stay healthy and get healthy. The Nets, I was impressed with them. Their 9th game of the season, again, easy to say, well, they were impressive. They opened up a 12-0 lead, 16-2 lead. But the Celtics don't panic. They didn't panic in the overtime loss against Indiana. They didn't panic. You knew they were going to get back in the game. Again, kind of pulling your hair out. They got to within 1 numerous times, and Brooklyn went on runs. That showed me that they have poise. They can do that again. Record deceiving? I don't think so. You blew out the Knicks on opening night. Shame on the Knicks for not showing up on opening night. Yeah, it was banner night in Boston and everything and all the pomp and circumstance before the game, but the Knicks didn't show up. Karl Anthony Towns, new player, all those different things. The Celtics beat up on them. Shame on the Knicks for that one. Right? You beat Atlanta by 30. The Hawks, that's what you should have done against Atlanta. Because of all the teams, there were moments where impressed by the Hornets, but the Hornets, with LaMelo Ball, we touched on it last week, in the sense of, they're going to let you stay in games. But they were in games too. The Indiana loss is a tough one. But Indiana's a team, I mentioned in Random Thoughts in segment number 2. They're giving up a ton of points. And again, the Celtics, as I touched on in our open, with sort of the game recap, you're going to get the opposing team's best effort, their A effort, most games. And you have to withstand that. They're going to be up for the Celtics. The Celtics have 8-2 start. So no, it's as expected. Mike, I do appreciate that. But no, I don't think it's deceiving. You could be like the Cavaliers right now. You could be perfect on the season. Warriors and Nets provided sort of a map as to how to play against the Celtics. Physical and aggressive. You've got to beat them to balls. You're just not going to outshoot the Celtics on the three-point line. Very, very few teams are going to do that. And even the Warriors don't shoot threes the way they used to. Klay Thompson, healthy years ago, not there anymore. They moved on from him. And I think that was a smart move. But they don't shoot threes nearly at the percentage that they used to. One more from OU. I've listened before since John Corrales said you'd join us, but I do drive on the evenings, not tonight, so haven't checked in the chat before. All right. Appreciate that, OU. Appreciate checking in. Absolutely. And John Corrales continues to do his great job. He's got post-game duties after games are over, and he provides. John and I think I'm going to reach out to John next week and touch about, what else we could do here to improve. Always want to improve, just like a professional sports team. Yes, I'm getting off track here because I do want to get into some numbers. And I do want to get into the three-point line. So the Celtics, 20 of 42. The Nets, 13 of 42. So they ended up shooting. Nope, I'm on the wrong game. My bad. Let's get here. Let's get in the right game here because I don't think this was close. 108-104 Celtics overtime win. Celtics, 14 of 53 on the three-point line, 26.4%. That's their lowest percentage behind the three-point line this season. The Nets were 10 of 38. So they missed 28 threes. The Celtics missed a ton of threes as well. The Celtics overall were 43%, 39 of 90, 53 three-point attempts, 90 attempts total. Tatum, 33, 5 of 13 behind the three-point line. Horford got going in the second half, knocked down 3 threes. He ended up with a double-double, 13 and 10, his first double-double of the season. 4 of the 5 starters in double figures. Tillman started, played just 6 minutes, 0 of 3 behind the three-point line, did not score. Hauser, 2 threes. 1 in the first half, 1 in the fourth quarter. That was big. Ended up with the 8 points. And Queta, 10 rebounds and 3 block shots. Queta and Joe Mazzulla said it. Defensively is where you want Queta to shine every single game. He gets his points. It's going to be on rebounds and putbacks, whether layups or dunks, on misses. And they'll go through them occasionally, but even tonight, he sort of took a long stride, kept the pivot foot. He didn't even turn to look back towards the basket. He was going to put the ball on the perimeter to a teammate. But again, you go with the 10 rebounds that he had. Prichard, 3 threes, 5 of 5 at the line, 20 points, 6 of 11 overall. But the starters, 5 threes from Tatum. Tillman, White, who did have a big 3, and Holiday 0 for 4. They combined to go 1 for 13. So 3 of your starters, 1 for 13 behind the three-point line. You end up winning in overtime. I just wonder how the Celtics, as teams continue to challenge them on the three-point line, continue to try to run them off the three-point line, how do they make those things work? It's a possibility that Celtics weren't going to score 100 points. We were looking at that at the end of regulation. They end up getting over 100 points, but 108. They're not going to score 125 or more every single game. But with these games down the stretch, no, you don't win against the Warriors a couple of nights ago, but the poise, the ability for Tatum to find other guys, you're playing without Brown, so he's not an option. Late shot clock situations, late game situations. And Tatum, as we've touched on here in Locked On Celtics Postcast, trusts his teammates to come through. And when you have veterans like White, Holiday, and Horford, absolutely. But when you're going to Hauser, expecting him to knock down a shot, there's a lot to be said for that. OU, one more. Tatum was great on catch and shoot, corner threes tonight, but not above the break-off dribble on threes. Yeah, there were a couple, and he touched on it a while back. It might have been the Indiana game where he's like, I took threes with guys a hand in my face. And he took a couple Friday night. And I talked with a college coach. Tatum's a guy you want the ball. Prichard's a guy who's going to have the ball in his hands. He seems to be able to hit shots, shot clock winding down, game clock winding down at the end of a quarter. But Tatum is put in situations a lot of the time where shot clock's winding down. You got to put a shot up, or you're going to end up with a shot clock violation. So he's got that defender extra aggressive, trying to cut off any path to the basket. So if he's going to miss a handful of those throughout the course of a game, the shot clock winding down, you want the ball in his hands, but he's going to miss his fair share of shots in those situations. So the shooting percentage is going to go down. But again, how are the Celtics going to adjust as teams continue to defend them on the three-point line? Celtics are now off. What's on tap? Celtics are in action. Hey, first win of the season, by the way. Numbers of the night. Trailing after 3 quarters. Again, close to not scoring and hitting the century mark in a game for the first time this season. That didn't happen. The Celtics do pick up the victory, now 8-2. No Jaylen Brown. At Milwaukee against the Bucks Sunday, second of 4 regular season meetings between the two teams, and you got to continue just to step on the neck of the Milwaukee Bucks. You don't want them to breathe. You don't want them to start. They're going to. Who knows when they get to 500? Are they 500 by Christmas? They've dug themselves into a pretty good hole. And then after Milwaukee Sunday, back home against the Hawks, you beat them by 30. The first meeting between the two earlier last week. And then you've got the Hawks at home Tuesday, Nets, second back-to-back in the month of November. They'll have 3 total. Hawks Tuesday, Nets in Brooklyn. That's going to be I like that. I would not want to see the Nets again tomorrow or Sunday in a back-to-back. I like that they're going to have a couple of games under their belt between the next meeting. And the Nets are going to try to, the focus will be try to close it out. Good win for the Celtics. Great comments tonight. Appreciate it, as always. If you're with us for the first time, Locked On Sports Boston YouTube channel, join the conversation. We We do have fun here. Mike Pascal, OU, appreciate you checking in. Hey, don't forget, your favorite podcast is now a newsletter. Introducing the Locked On Celtics Daily newsletter, one stop for ultimate team and league coverage delivered right to your inbox. Sign up for free now at LockedOnDaily.com. That's Locked On Daily, and start your day with the all-new Locked On Celtics newsletter. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not signed up. I will be signed up by the end of the game on Sunday in Milwaukee against the Bucks. I encourage you to do the same. Tip of the cap, as always, to all of our viewers and our listeners on the podcast, available wherever you get your podcasts as well. We do thank our sponsors, Prize Picks, FanDuel, and Skims. We do thank you for making the Locked On Celtics podcast with John Corrales and the Locked On Celtics postcast your first listen every day. Free and available wherever you get your podcasts on the Locked On Sports Boston YouTube channel. I think we have one more comment. I think I'm going there. Yes, I am. OU, thank you for the compliment. Much appreciated. We will see you soon. Enjoy your night, and everyone enjoy their night as well. Locked On Celtics postcast. Locked On Sports Boston, number one place to hang out immediately after every game. Locked On Sports, your team, your Celtics, your Boston Celtics, your world champion Boston Celtics every day.